Every high and crushing low taught me something invaluable: resilience. I began documenting my journey, recording every lesson and every step towards rebuilding my success and my mental, even if no one else was watching. I didn't know where this path would lead, but I had Frank, Rosario, and the memories of everything I built and lost, fueling my determination. What you're about to see is my journey, the highs, the lows, and every moment in between, captured during a time when I was all alone, but never defeated. I'm going to get back to being a millionaire. No matter what, I will make it.
Hey guys, I figured I'd make a video today because it's just, I don't know, I figured I'd make another video. So today, it was 2 weeks from, I think the last video, I think the last video was on the 1st or the 2nd of January, and so, yeah, let me show you what I'm working with. Sorry about that. So right now, I'll show you the date. It is January 14th at 2:45. It is a Sunday. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is tomorrow. Bitcoin ETF just happened a couple of days ago, and we could see how that went. So Bitcoin just kind of went way down, double top. It is now at 42,203, and Ethereum has kind of been taking advantage of Bitcoin's loss. I guess because people are expecting Ethereum to also get an ETF, and then they'll probably try to sell it. So $2,005 and $2,508. Okay. Now, why is this important? Well, for the people who have been back around 2017, I mean, it kind of looks like the same thing happening. Except the price started to go down on January 14th, and it kept going down all the way until February. So I'm expecting the same thing, to be honest. Now, it's very possible that this could have already happened in 2021, but I doubt it. I think that this is the big fall, just like 2018. And yeah, it went even as low all the way to the next year, to the following year. So I have no clue if this is going to be it, if this is going to be like the big fucking boom, or if it's going to go up. I think that's everyone's biggest fear right now, is because Bitcoin hasn't passed. I think the highest that it's been this week was like 48,000, and then it just fucking tanked. So I have no clue if it's gonna go down or whatever. A lot of people are saying it's gonna go down now that we have the ETF, but this is one of the first times that this has ever happened too, and it was only I think only just one day. I think it started on Friday, on the 11th. So that was like like Friday. So we really only had one day for it to like really kind of mature. I feel like maybe it might be the opposite of 2018. I think after about a week we'll really see that blossom. So that's enough about crypto. I just kind of wanted to put that out there. How am I doing? So I always like starting like that now. How am I doing? I'm doing okay, right? I'm not doing great, but I'm not doing as bad as I could be, right? For the situation. So the situation, like I've always said, the situation, like I've always said, is just figuring out whether I need to get an actual job or not. And it's always hard too, because the thing that keeps me in place is like, oh, we might get this job, but I never really know. And then I also never get paid in full for it either. So the goal here is within the next month, and I keep on saying this too, so you guys are going to see a pattern where I'm like, I'm still deciding. Within the next month, I really do want to make that decision. I don't really want to keep this game going. Like, it's so taxing for me to have to keep on thinking, wow, when's my paycheck gonna come through, or wow, I wish I could do this, or I wish I could do that. Like, it's so annoying. It is. And I think also the biggest thing is that I have so many things that keep coming up to where if I wanted to get a W-2 job, I'd have to tell them, hey, I want to go this place or this. Like, for example, for my grandma's birthday, more than likely I'm going to try to set up a trip to go down and see my grandma. So for like a couple of days for her birthday and for my uncle's birthday. So it's things like that where it's like, if I were to look for a job within the next, week or so, like I wouldn't really be able to do that because I still need to do things. Now that's only a 3-day thing versus a week and a half, but still, it's just one of those things that I think about that I'm like, okay, I want to do this or I want to do that, So yeah, so it's things like that I want to do because I think it's important. It means something, and yeah, so there's that. But I think after February, or after the first week of February, I'm trying to figure something out. If I have the money, if I have the time, that sort of thing. Yeah, sorry. I just took a breather because I had to think about that really quick. And again, if I don't have the money, if I don't have the time, it makes me want to do these things, but it's like, realistically, can I actually do these things? And realistically, I have to think about whether I can realistically do it, and can I budget it in. And I hate thinking like that because I've never usually had to think like this. I've always been like, okay, I want to do this, okay, I'm doing it. I want to do this, okay, I'm doing it. And now I have to think, I have no clue why. Now I have to think, and I've been thinking this way, by the way, for the last couple of years, ever since I started doing these vlogs. Now I have to think, hey, what's going on? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And how am I going to get from point A to point B, and then also how much money is going to take to do this, or how much money will I have if I do this? I have to structure everything like that because I don't know where I'm going to get money the next day or whatever. It's just one of those things that I really just have to think about everything now very analytically, and I can't just be like, you know what, I'm going to leisurely spend for this or leisurely spend for that. I can't anymore. So there's that. Secondly, I haven't been paid yet on the construction stuff, and I've been saying that for weeks, months so far, and it's I'll get paid here and there, $500, $2,000, but then we end up doing something and it adds to the total that I'm owed. So we just signed a contract for one of the homeowners near us, and that adds another $1,500 or so to my total. And you would think that, hey, that's a good thing, that's a very good thing, but it's like, I hope Frank knows how much he owes me, because now it's getting to the point where I need to pay for my car, I need to pay my car bill, I need to pay this and that, and I don't have the money to do so right now. So it's getting to that point where it saddens me. It kind of makes me a little bit depressed, but I still go through it. I don't let that affect me, because it shouldn't. I'll let that, it doesn't motivate me either, to be honest, like it used to, but now it's just kind of depressing because it's like I can't rely on it, you know. After so many times you're like, okay, it's gonna happen, I believe in it, but eventually, realistically, you have to kind of take into account, okay, now I can't trust in it because it hasn't happened for X amount of time, you know, times. Now I have to just kind of trust in myself. So, but currently I am owed roughly about 6,500 plus 1,500 is 8,000, so about $8,000, and roughly 3,000 goes to rent. Yeah, about $3,600 goes to rent. Is that crazy or what? So out of that $8,000, if you do 8,000 divided by, let's say, 3 months, because that's essentially how, since November, let's just say since November, you divide 8,000 minus the 3,600, that means that I'm only gonna have about $4,400 left for myself. Divide that over 2 months from the last 2 months. Actually, divide it over 3 months because I don't know if I'm gonna get paid for this month. If it's over 3 months, 4,400 is more or less like $1,200 or something like that, or $1,100. So that's nothing, bro. That is nothing. Obviously, I'm taking rent out, but I mean, still just profit. $1,000 a month. It should be like $2,000 that I should have in profit. I mean, if I account for my bills for my car payment every single month, then that actually goes down to about $800, $900. And any miscellaneous stuff, then it goes down to about $600 profit each month. So it's garbage. It is garbage. So hopefully things change. We get a couple more jobs and we start doing things the right way and I get paid in full. Hopefully that happens in the next month. If not, then I'm not going to be able to do much. But on the bright side, in February, I have applied for this new blood place. I think I talked before about donating plasma. That was my first step into all this stuff. And it was very low pay. It was like based off of how much you weigh, which now I weigh the max weight, which is like 170 or so. So now I weigh just enough to kind of get like that I think it's like $80 max that you can get per session. But the problem is it's about 35 to 40 miles away and it's for 1 hour and it's for about $80. And I don't think that's really worth it. $80 for an hour, and you're also going about 80 miles in total. So I don't know. It's a mixed bag there, but wasn't my cup of tea for how far it was. Now, the new blood place that I have, and I don't know if I mentioned that I went to another blood place like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, somewhere around that time, and they said that my veins weren't good. Hopefully I mentioned that. But if I didn't, they told me a couple months ago there was another blood place that told me that my veins were like really bad, not my left arm but my right arm, and they're like, yeah, we can't use your veins. And so it's weird because I go into this place, this new blood center, and they're like, yeah, you're good to go. You're awesome. You can do blood. You could do bone marrow, stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. But it's like I had the feeling, I was like, shit, I hope that they accept me, because I even asked my dad. I was like, hey, have you ever heard of your veins not being good? Because like I know mine should be, because I got the same genes as you, so I know my veins aren't bad. And he's like, yeah, they should be perfect. I've never had trouble doing any of that. And so it was just weird. So this place accepts it, and it's way more pay. I mean, it's a little bit longer time, but it's like going 40 minutes for, let's say, 2 to 3 hours of your time for about $350 to, I think it's like $250 to $300. So it's $200, or that's almost $100 an hour. And it's like, it's consolidated. You can't go there very often, So you can't go there like every week like the other place, but it's more money for your time, and I value that way more. So, and that plus bone marrow kind of makes it even, and I'd rather go one time for a longer period of time and get a lump sum than go every single week for 2 times a week, and it just messes up your entire schedule. So that's what I intend to do next month. That will help with, I mean, that's like $300 almost guaranteed every single month, or it's every 5 weeks that you can do the actual like white blood cells. So it's like every 5 weeks. So technically a month and a week. Every month and a week I could do it, but essentially in every month I should be able to have a reoccurring donation that I can do to get about 300 $250 to $350 dollars in my pocket. So that would be very nice. That'd be super nice. And I'm saddened that it can't be this month. They were like, oh, we're all booked up for this month, but next month would be really nice because then I can do that. So what's next? As you guys know, I'm finishing up my manga as well, my one-shot. We probably won't be able to have it fully done this month because I got to do the cover, I got to do translations for Japanese and translations for Spanish. I mean, there's a slim possibility I can get it finished this month, but I would much rather get it finished in next month, February, so that way I can go ahead and submit it in March. Because the contest that I'm trying to enter is for it's the start of every month. And so I want to make sure that every month, or that in the month that I'm trying to submit it, so let's say like the month of March, that I'm set, you know, that everything's good to go. I don't know what's going on with my throat. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that I'm set every single month, and everything goes well. So, set every month. No, I want to make sure that in March I'm set and I'm good. That way things go well. Sorry, I'm driving, so my brain went loopy. So that's the goal. And everything's looking good. We just sent it to our editor, and our editor thought it was really amazing as well. Just small comments and whatnot, but she really loved it, and I really couldn't be happier on that front. That, you know, the person who read it, who's very analytical when it comes to reading and editing stuff, had really no comments. Like, it was just amazing to kind of hear that validation and be like, you know what, this is actually really good. Like, you've outdone yourself. It's such a good feeling. So she gave us the thumbs up, and that felt really good. And I'm just getting that stuff done, and we should be good after that. The only other thing that I'm doing that I'm waiting on is next week, I believe. Next week, on the 18th, I'll have a meeting with Optimism, which is the network that I probably talked about last week. It's basically a crypto chain that helps and develops and builds. They're like the network that builds, and they help give like grants of money to people who are trying to build on their project chain. Think about it like that, on their project. And I learned about them happenstance. I got like a little airdrop, which is basically they send money out to people who use Optimism, and at some point I might have used them at some point. I really don't know, but anyways, I got some money. I got like $500 from them, looking at my crypto wallet, and I was like, what the hell, let me research. And I researched, and then I was like, wow, I can use them to help me help them help everyone. Does that make sense? I can use them to revive Voyagers, the NFT project that I lost 100,000 on, talked about ever since it happened, and I can revive MovieBot, which is the program that I use to make and create 3D animations. They weren't the best 3D animations, but they were like 3D animations that were cool and easy to use and stuff like that. For the average person, that gets people into animation. I'm going to do this shopping order really quick and then I'll continue. There's more thoughts I want to go over. Okay, we are back. And so I think the last time I was talking, I was basically going over, what Voyagers and the project that I can do with this building, with this team of builders, is basically try to fundraise roughly $100,000 more or less, and try to get everything solved. Things for me, things for the old people, the people who are part of Voyagers, my animations. Like, it solves everything. And I've really had to work hard to try to find a proposal that works. I'm making a pitch deck right now, which is going to take the next 3 to 4 days to really finalize and make sure that I have everything right. And then I'm going to record a presentation. So I'm going to be making a text document to kind of explain things, a pitch deck, and a presentation all in one to really solidify what I'm trying to build, how I'm trying to build it, and what are the opportunities and the things that can come out of it. And the nice thing is that just my brain thinks about how can everyone win in a situation like this. And I really do think that the next step for me, and what everything has been leading to, has been creating a massive idea, just a massive idea, and getting the budget for it and executing on it. I think everything's kind of led to that, because I don't see any case where things just, haven't led to me becoming just a businessman, entrepreneur, and somebody who has, all the knowledge of like a person who has to start a business from the ground up. And I have so many contacts right now that it's hard for me to be like, I can't use them. No, I have so much more knowledge about the animation space, about the business space, about everything now, that I feel like I can do this right now. I can do it right. And I have so much knowledge and so much guidance from previous mistakes to understand this is the path that I need to go on in order to successfully execute. Because my problem in the past was not being able to execute on stuff, not being able to execute a strategy to make money, not being able to execute on a strategy to make animations and fund. And I feel like this is one of my only opportunities to really get the amount of money that I need and execute on things that have already been established. It's basically just me putting the glue together on all these failed projects and saying, these can actually all work in conjunction with my plan. And then I can hire somebody. I can hire like a financial planner and a mentor or a person who's really good on business plans to back me up on the numbers and all the ideas that I have, and like actually put forward an actual plan to get things going. And I think that's the most important part, because yes, I can have a fundamental outline, but I do need the help to hire somebody who has actually like built businesses and stuff like that before, to basically back me up on my ideas and make goals so that we were actually profitable and we hit our goals, So, and being able to have an accountant, being able to pay people, and being able to account for those monies, like being organized, kind of like what I've been saying about Frank and our business. It's those things that I also have to do as well. It's not just things that that I've I was never good at that either. Like I wasn't, and it's true. I might have had a little bit more understanding. I can see things in PayPal and stuff like that, but honestly, that's still the same thing as what Frank's doing. I can see things in my bank account. It's the same shit. I wasn't really accounting for anything. I might have had less bills and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean that I could have accounted for everything either. And I had no clue where my money was going. I had no clue how much I was spending. I didn't know. That's a problem. And so this way, I can get everything fixed. My life fixed. I can get, the goals that I have for making animations and making people happy. I can do that. The goals for helping people with animations and understanding how to animate freely and being able to do that from your phone. I can do that. I want to also prop up 2D animation and bring back Footnote. I think that's something that no one's done yet, like widespread. No one's really widespread done or cultivated or capitalized on 2D animation and how popular that was with the younger crowds and with just inspiring. And I want to fix that as well, because Nintendo had a really good model. But the problem is that they didn't capitalize on their success. And that's a big problem. That's a huge issue. So I want to redo that. Everything I'm doing right now is basically ideas that have already shown success and shown that they'd be good and would be marketable, but they need to be upped to the next level. They need to be more. They need to be updated to the modern era, right? And so all my problems right now could essentially be solved just by one small just imagine everything. Let's say I get funded, everything gets solved because I made the effort to check out what optimism was. And if that isn't special and like a fucking just like blessing in disguise, I don't know what it is. But the problem is, it's not like, hey, oh wow, you got gifted this amount of money. No, I made the effort, and the beautiful thing about it too is like I wouldn't be mad if that's how things blossom. Because why? Because I made the effort to go ahead and research. I made the effort to go ahead and make a proposal and sort everything out, so that way I'd have goals and understand even deeply for myself what I wanted to actually do, what I wanted to build. And I don't think if I hadn't gone down this route, I really wouldn't have figured out, hey, I could actually do a lot more than what I was thinking originally. Because originally this was just like, oh, maybe I can make animations and revive Voyagers. I don't know. But now it's become, hey, I can revive Voyagers. I can make animations to, get things going. I can make little mini-series. I can expand on a lot of things. I can expand on a lot of things that have already, I've already pushed. And I could revive MovieBot and make people happy and expand on that. I can revive Flipnote and expand on that. These are all good ideas that all have to do with the same realm, and that's animation and getting more young people into animation. I see animation dominating. Ever since Spider-Man and all these other, animated films, there are more people than ever trying to get and learn animation. The problem is there's not enough tools and easily accessible tools and programs out there that will help the young person get into animation. I feel like Flipnote, 3DS, all that stuff, they're ancient. So younger people nowadays don't even look at that. They look at their Switch, they look at that stuff, but there's no stylist, there's no nothing for that. So I see a hole in the market for people that really want to get into all this. Kids now, they have to get a Wacom, which means that you can't really even see anything on screen. You have to get a Wacom tablet, you have to have a computer. The cost to entry into animation is so high right now that is crazy. Even for animators on Blender and stuff, you have to learn how to model. You have to learn how to do this. What if you could skip all that? What if you could skip all that and just make your ideas come true? And so that's my thesis, you know? Allow young people to be able to get into animation without the cost or the hassle, and also be able to fund young people's animations in the future with different fundings. So the goal for that, I'm just telling a small sneak peek of it, but the goal for that is, if it were me, because I put myself in the scenario, if it were me and I was starting all over again from the beginning, and let's just say I had this really good idea, right? Now, obviously, I wouldn't want to fund a person based off of their idea. It wouldn't be like, okay, here's $50,000. We're going to go ahead and see what you can do. No. I want to teach that person and co-pilot them into a situation where I can see if their idea would be good on a basis of seeing how that would look just on pre-visualization. So essentially, they would go through a phase where they get voted on, and if your idea is voted well on a submission, then you go to the next phase where we'll go ahead and pay a storyboard artist to storyboard and possibly make an animatic of your idea, you know, because that's going to be cheaper than making the entire film or anything like that. So it gives a basis, right? Then if it passes the storyboard phase or the animatic phase, if it passes that, then you move on to the next phase, which is basically fulfilling it. And you basically get in a call with probably me and one other person, which will be you telling us how your story goes based off of the storyboard / animatic. And we give ideas. You finalize those ideas and you come up with another idea for your storyboard. Like, you just pitch us again, but in person this time, and tell us what your story is about. Because I'll be able to sense passion. I'll be able to sense all that stuff as well. So I feel like that's going to be more telling than anything, especially for me, because I live and breathe passion with my stories. And obviously I can't fulfill everyone, but the problem is when I started, it's so hard to find animators. It's so hard to find, and this would be for artists / animators. And then film creators would be like a secondary, but I want to focus on animation, and then I'll branch out to actual filmmakers, because I feel like filmmakers have a lot more resources. You need a phone camera, which everyone has a phone nowadays, and that's really all you need. You can play the different characters, but with animation, it's much harder to do all that, even though your environmental, everything is unlimited in animation, right? You have full freedom and control. The problem is the cost of entry to animation is still so high. Like, there's no AI that will make you models yet. There's no anything that will do the modeling and the texturing for you. So unless you really have all those skills together, it's almost impossible to proceed to make an animation or an idea that you have and execute on it, especially if you're just the idea guy. And it sucks. Or if you're the writer / idea guy, the director, it sucks because you need to pay people to basically execute the idea for you, like myself. And so to have the brain of a director, but have the skills of a writer, and the ambition to want to fulfill something, it hurts. It hurts so bad. And I know how that feeling feels. I know how it feels to be in a situation where you have all these ideas, these crazy stories and stuff like that, but you have no way to execute or even see how those ideas might play out, and to get feedback on them too. So that's my idea and the roadmap that I'm going down for this. And the reason why I'm speaking so highly about it and passionately is because I feel like this is what I've been drawn to. Like, there's so many things, being into crypto, being into business, being into all these things that have like molded me to this one pivotal singularity. And if it goes through, then that singularity branches out to all these, new paths that I will create. And not only just for myself, I'll create it for everyone. And I feel like that's just going to be monumental. And then also, creating mangas still and all these other projects that I want to do. I feel like that will fulfill everything that I want and I need. And so that's what I'm pursuing on that end. Yeah. So it's been a rough time, but as you can see, I'm making something out of nothing, and I'm really hoping that in all these places that I've been dabbling in, that something goes correct, that something goes right for me. And it's not just even about luck. It's at this point, it's really all about skill, taking the chance, taking the opportunity, taking the time out of my days to do things, and do Uber, do all this stuff, just to make sure that I have enough time to for myself and to get things done, and to just kind of work for me at the end of the day. So I'm praying that's how things go. I'll give you guys an update after the 18th. So there'll be 3 videos for this month. I'll give you an update after the 18th to let you know how everything goes. Peace.
So if you thought the video was good, please give it a like and share. It really helps. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see the rest of the story unfold. This project is so close to my heart, and your support keeps it going. Thanks so much. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time in the archives of a Shiba Millionaire.